Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you and you and you and you and you. I look very short. I look very weird. I'm sorry, as usual, I can't find the live on the computer, and if Mark's watching, he's just going to go, oh my God, she's so useless. Like he did to me today. He said, Nadia, you're just so useless. He actually said that to me. He did. Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. So, everybody, if you just came over from Instagram, we were having a jolly good chat about strawberries, right? Can anyone, in case people have just come over from Instagram, I don't want to go over it all again. But to cut a long story short, I've stopped buying soft fruits. And I'm not afraid to say it. I go and buy a blueberry. I go and buy a great big pack of blueberries and they're disgusting. You buy raspberries, they just taste bitter. Strawberries just taste of water. And I just stopped buying them. Yesterday, I happened to be in a Tesco Express. And I don't often go to Tesco's. So I was like, oh God, I really need some soft fruit. I need it. I'm just going to have to buy it. It's probably not going to be very nice. And I'm just going to get it. 1 second. I just want to show you the box. Right. So, just bog standard. They weren't organic or anything. I got those. Right. Just those bog standard blueberries. And these super sweet raspberries. Before anyone has a go, this isn't an ad. It's just I literally went in there. And I said to Mark, I've got to tell the guys about how delicious this soft fruit is. Every single one of those has been fragrant. Because we're all getting sick of buying bloody soft fruits and having to throw them away. Because they're horrible. I do look like Sue Pollard today. You know? Yeah, British strawberries are the best. But absolutely they are the best. And Scottish raspberries, the best. But something has gone very wrong with our soft fruit. I think it's because they put too much shit on them and they grow them too fast or something, or not enough sun or something. You don't taste the sun, you don't taste the vitality. Well, if you're fancying some nice soft fruits today, I would recommend Tesco Express. Or Zoe said on Instagram, Tooting Market has some fantastic strawberries. And I want this to keep going over the weeks. I want people to recommend wherever they've bought a nice strawberry, can they please tell us? Or a nice raspberry, or a nice blueberry. Because it's not easy. I buy them frozen for my smoothies. I get these really good organic, teeny ones. But when you defrost them, they don't work as well, do they? You can't just pop them in your mouth. Fruit picking. Yeah, well, we need more fruit pickers, don't we? Michelle, if you're there... Right, I don't know how to click on where I see the comments. So I've got like my little live black box over there. I can't seem to click on anything. I don't know how to do it. So if you're there, can you tell me how to do it? I tried to ask Mark the other day, but he got irritated with me. Oh, I'll just read the comments up here, that's okay. They are tasteless if you put them in the fridge, tasteless. But guess what? I put the Tesco Express ones in the fridge yesterday and they were still nice this morning. Oh, now you see, I don't agree with you. Who's that? Sabrina Neal's like strawberries with chocolate. I don't. I think it clashes. I don't really like cream with fruit either. But anyway, that's just me. Yeah, Jessica Simpson, what the heck? Jessica Woodstock, what on earth have you taken this morning? I was in tears of laughter on the Insta Live. Well, do you know what? Do you know what I've taken? I'm not even bullshitting you here, guys. This is the absolute truth. I have had this morning a cup of mint tea and yoga outside in the garden, and that's it. And I'm like this. Oh, I have had a few blueberries and a couple of strawberries. But sometimes I'm just like this. It just... Now, the thing is, I haven't had my coffee yet. Now, this could be weird because I could have my coffee and I could easily, in a heartbeat, become very exhausted and a bit anxious. Because actually, my entire adult life, I never drank coffee. And then I started it in my 50s, and I'm not totally sure it agrees with me. Because I always get a bit, what's happening? Mint tea this morning, fresh leaves, Della Nixon. I love fresh mint tea. Fresh leaves. Go and get big bunches of it from your Greek or your Turkish or your Cypriot or Middle Eastern shops. Much better than buying those little packets from Sainsbury's. And literally just pour the hot water on. Delicious. Try and get used to it without having sugar. Where my dad is from, Middle East and in Morocco and these places, they put so much sugar in it. Don't get me wrong, it's delicious. Hello, Molly Williams. It is delicious. But it's better if you just start off without any sugar in it. I'm very hyper, Leggy Blonde Jen. I'm very hyper today, but let's see what happens when I have my coffee. Tojo's gonna be weird. Tojo. Hello, Brenda McGee. Hello, Ellery Jones. Hello, Nicole Marcella. Hello, Alison Fish. If you're enjoying yourself, can you hit the thumbs up underneath where I am? And tell the world that over here is quite good. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Thank you, and the notification bell, so you know that when we're live. Yes, I have done my yoga this morning. I'm doing my 365 days of yoga every single day. Now, on that, I'm going to be talking more about that because I think some of you should join me. Oh, that's better. Or is it not? And what you have to remember with it, it's like my yoga teacher said to me yesterday, yoga can be but deep belly breaths for 5 minutes. It's some kind of yoga practice. It's not about doing an hour's yoga every day. Only like movie stars and supermodels or people that don't have anything else to do an hour of yoga every day, or teachers, because it's hard. It's hard. So it's not about that. Sometimes your yoga practice can just take 10 minutes. Listen to me. I sound like a blooming guru. Getting full of myself. Yeah. I've done my second day of seated yoga today. Thank you, Nadia, for inspiration. Oh, Emma B, that's fantastic. Seated yoga. You've got to all follow my friend, my yoga teacher and friend, she's become a friend, Rachel Spain Yoga. She's on Facebook and she's on Instagram, and she's really, really lovely. You could DM her, you could ask her questions, she'd just answer. She's one of those really good yoga teachers that's doing it for other people and not just so she can stand there and go, aren't I just fantastic, aren't I just gorgeous, which some yoga people are a little like. I mean, my yoga today, oh God, honestly, I didn't have a bra on and my boobs were so saggy, they fell out the top of my top and hit me in the face. I was like, oh my God, because I was outside. So I put this little thing on underneath and I thought, I can't have that happen again today. Yeah, Adrienne Yoga on YouTube is a good one to follow. I was just saying on Instagram, my yoga teacher, I was saying to her, could you do like a Zoom lesson for absolute beginners? Because the thing is, whatever lesson you go to, it's always advanced, isn't it? And it's just impossible. And that's why I could never really get into it. Right, so because I can't sit, okay, so first of all, let's have a chat. Harry and Meghan's baby, what do you think of the name? Oh my God, every single thing they do, there is such debate, isn't it? I breathe in for 4, out for 7. I'm an auntie again, says Reem. My brother had his first child, little girl, so happy. Oh, congratulations, Reem. How lovely. It's a beautiful name, Raspberry Mojito Girl. I agree. It's a beautiful name. So, some people are saying that they think that this is a reaching out. First of all, what I'd like to say is, I think, though, how do we know? We don't know what's going on in people's minds. That they've chosen these names with affection. But of course, it's all started that everyone's, well, not everyone, there are, that it's quite divided. Many are saying that it's an insult to the Queen because it's the pet name. Only her father and her husband called her Lilibet. So it's her nickname. But I think they probably would have asked her. Don't you? And Diana is the middle name. I was quite surprised. I thought Diana would be her first name. It's a beautiful name. Lilibet Diana. I know, Russ Souch, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I think that they would have asked her. I absolutely do. And I think, actually, it's a bit of an olive branch. It's like, did you see the Prince Edward and his wife, Sophie, were saying the other day, you know, they were making a bit of a joke about it. They had an interview and they asked them the interviewer asked them what they thought of the interview with Oprah. And they went, Oprah? Who's Oprah? And then they said, you know, Sophie said, we're always a family, whatever. And she also shared that after the funeral, she had a very long chat with Harry. And there's been nice messages about the baby. Babies can bring people back together, you know. So that's what I hope for. That's what I hope for. Right. I think they would have asked her too. Isn't it a lovely name, Lilibet? But she's going to be called Lily anyway. Bev Barry thinks that the baby girl's name is for publicity. Yeah, no, I mean, and a lot of people do think the same, Bev. I mean, personally, I don't. I just think it's a nice thing. And I think he adores the Queen every step of the way that he said that through all of this, hasn't he? He's always said that. It's over there, darling. Bobby Jackson, it was the way the Queen said her own name as a child, so her father started taking the mickey by calling her. That's how it stuck. Exactly. She couldn't say her own name. So sweet. I mean, if my kids had a baby and called them Nana, because that's my nickname, or Nads, I'd be so honoured. Wouldn't you? I mean, isn't it an honour to call your baby? I mean, don't all grandparents love nothing more than their grandchild being named after them? I mean, I know it's a bit egotistical and stuff, but I'd be like, oh. Then I'd try and talk them out of it. Yeah, people love a moan. Oh, and on that note, guys, I went to have my second vaccine yesterday, and I know that, you know that I've been really anxious about it, nervous about it, worried about it. So I went to they were so nice. They squeezed me in. Look, here's a bit of advice, guys, because I was supposed to go, as you know, on Friday, but I was 2 hours in the dentist instead of half a bloody hour. And so I missed my appointment. So I went on the NHS app to try and book another appointment. It was like a week, 2 weeks, and I really wanted to get it out of the way before I go away. And they said, so I just rang up the pharmacy. I rang up 2 different pharmacies, actually, and both of them said, yeah, sure, just come in before 6. So it's really worth doing. Go on the NHS app, see which are the ones that are in your postcode, and then just give them a call. It's amazing. So anyway, so I went and I was really, really nervous. And I had the loveliest guy, Cope's Pharmacy in Streatham, Copes. And the pharmacist's name is Ash. And he was just lovely. And he chatted me through it all. And he said, you know, so many people come in here really nervous. And everyone leaves here happy and relieved that they've done it. And he just gave me, you know, he was saying, you know, people have forgotten how horrendous this was. And he said, if you think back when we were right in the thick of it and there was 2,000 deaths a day and all of that, and somebody had said, I'll give you a vax that will give you a 50% chance not to get this, you'd have grabbed at it. But it's because it's gone on a bit, people have forgotten. He said, the other thing is, people think it's a new vaccine, but there's 10 years of work already gone into this. He really, really reassured me. And the other thing he said is, I've got no side effects, by the way, nothing. He said, the first is the worst for Oxford. For Pfizer, you get your side effects the second time round. But he said, you know, sometimes he does find it a bit like overwhelming how fussy people are. they come in and they're like, oh, well, no, I wanted the Pfizer, or no, I wanted this. And he goes, just look to the other countries where people are desperate. They're in total hell. And, you know, and he said, there's nothing in it. There's nothing in between, you know, just don't like obsess about which one you want. Obviously now, if you're under 40, they're going to give you the Pfizer or the Moderna. He said, but really the stats are tiny on it. Anyway, he just really allayed my fears, and I felt so much better. But I was listening yesterday to, oh God, what's her name? Rachel Johnson, you know, Boris Johnson's sister, her radio show. And she had this scientist on. Oh, he was funny. He was so angry. He was furious. So, I mean, these people that, did anyone listen to it, that just won't go and have the vaccine? And I completely respect, I do not judge people at all that don't have the vaccine. As I've said to you many times before, my whole life I've been homeopathic. My whole adult I've been homeopathic. I do not judge people that don't. I think people have to make their own choices. But if people are making their own choice, if people are making that choice because of the side effects, this scientist was saying, you know, have you ever taken a contraceptive pill? Have you ever taken a paracetamol? Have you ever taken a Nurofen? Have you ever got, you know, the stats are lower on this vaccine than they are on any of those things. And he said, the problem is, he said, unless we have 85% of people vaccinated, oh, good luck, Sam. He said, we won't have herd immunity. And we need herd immunity to break this, because otherwise it will continue to, you know, continue to mutate. But he was just raging. And then what I loved about this interview, Rachel said something. I think she said, she was talking about somebody else. She said, I can't remember what the word was, putilist or something like that. And he said, and you know, really bright, really educated people have no shame. Because, yeah, I've got no idea what that word means. What does that word mean? It made me laugh so much. And so there was Boris's sister explaining to him what this word meant, which I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it just made me think. I was just like, oh God, really? What are we gonna? Because I don't think it's fair to force people to have the vaccine that don't want to. But could we possibly ever be at that point where they're saying, you know, he said, I mean, when you go to the airport, you have to remove your shoes and take off your belt for the safety of others. And if you choose not to, well, then you can't fly. Because he was arguing that there should be almost, you know, different rules for people that aren't vaccinated, because of this, the problem of the mutation. And that is why scientists are asking, well, some scientists are pushing for the vaccine to be brought, vaccination of 12-year-olds and up to be brought forward to August. Because, yeah, well, various reasons. Matt Hancock said today it was because of it disrupts the schools when there's a COVID case. I know in my area there was quite a few schools were closed last week, which I actually don't think is dire for the child's education. I think they'll be fine, you know, if it closes for a week. But it's just such a nightmare for people and work, isn't it? And childcare issues. And if you've got one kid in one school and another kid in another school with one of the kids out, I mean, I can't even imagine how complicated that must be. So the Pfizer vaccine has already been given the green light in this country for over 12-year-olds. Now, this scientist was saying yesterday, that's not because that's the only safe one. It's just they're a bit ahead. So it will probably be, you know, the other vaccines will also. So we don't have the situation anymore, do we, with face masks, if I'm right? Kids don't have to wear face masks anymore at school. And so David, I actually believe in herd immunity. So, yeah, this is Sir David. We see him a lot, this scientist who is the chair of the Independent Sage Group. He's quite interesting, actually. He's very interesting. I like him because he just gives you another side. He wants to ask the government if they are going for herd immunity amongst school children. And wants to ask, is that why they're asking school children to take their mask off so that the disease spreads rapidly and they all become immune by having the disease? This is what this is what he's asking. Because he said, if that is the policy, shouldn't we be honest with the public and tell us that is the policy? I believe that herd immunity was the policy from the beginning back in February, March last year. So have we returned to that now we have the high vaccination level? So who knows? I mean, I suppose if they're still saying it's running rife in school, but they've also said take your masks off, who knows? Maybe that is what they're going for. Heather Cromack, my son's currently off nursery because he has a cough. You see, that's the other thing, isn't it? Your kid gets a sniffle or a cough and you have to keep them off school. I mean, what's that like when you're having to go to work? Faith, I think teenagers should have the jab to protect them from long COVID, which could be a problem for individuals for years to come. Faith, I was reading about that actually that is a bit of a worry, isn't it? Because there are definitely some children, I don't know what the numbers are, that are suffering from long COVID. I was watching Dr. John Campbell yesterday and he was saying actually that long COVID does tend to happen to the younger people that get it. Not children, just young. It just skews younger, I think, up until 45. I mean, as I've said before, Maddie effectively has long COVID because she's completely lost her sense of taste and smell, which is not, might just go, oh, I lost your taste and smell. But that's huge. You know, she still has no sense of taste or smell. And it's really depressed her. You know, it's a big thing to just lose one of your senses like that, you know. And also what's gone on in the brain for you to lose that. So, you know, you don't want that. Yes, I just wish I could get it sooner before the lifting of the next restrictions. I feel so guilty about going out without it, but I can't change my age, so we'll naturally have to wait. Such a dilemma. I wonder how old are you, IS? Because in some parts of the country, they're vaccinating very young people. Gabrielle, I hope they vaccinate in schools and not do it in vaccination centres. Imagine how many kids... Yeah, that's a good point. Will they take... I bet they will. Didn't we used to get vaccinated at school for, like, polio and stuff like that? I'm sure we did. My daughter is 17, says Sabrina Neal, and is totally needle phobic. Not any vaccine since 5. After having COVID ourselves, we wish she could have it, but her fear's too bad. She has long COVID now. She has long COVID. Oh no, I'm so sorry. And she's 5. My God. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's tough. Gemma H. I remember vaccinations at primary school and secondary school, always in the dining room. Yeah. Yeah, you go, roll your sleeve up. My arm is a bit stiff today, which it wasn't with the first one at all. I never felt anything. But I mean, with my first one, I was like polaxed at this point. I laid on the sofa all day eating chocolate and watching TV. IS, I have the equivalent of long COVID. It's so, oh, poor you, IS. Rachel Louise, I have long COVID symptoms. It also caused me to have massive hair dye reaction. So if you've had COVID, make sure you do a patch test first. Wow. Well, you should always do a patch test anyway. Honestly, guys, I know it's a bit of a pain in the arse, but honestly, I've seen people that have had massive reactions and it's just not worth it. And the thing is, you can have used a dye multiple times and then have a reaction to it. So just do it, guys. It's just not worth it. Honestly, it's 48 hours, a little bit there, just do it. Natasha Milchin, her friend was the same, just a bit of a stiff arm. I did do yoga with my stiff arm, Zoe, but the thing was, if I had been too ill today, I was going to do breathing. All this. Because the breathing, honestly, really, really helps my anxiety. It's weird breathing that I've never done before that my yoga teacher taught me. But I would just do the breathing because that's still a yoga practice. So check out did you watch the film? Did anybody watch the film that I put the link up to on my Instagram page to the woman that inspired me to do 365 days of yoga? It is Olias, no sense of... and I'm cooking all the time. She can't smell anything. Poor Poor Maddie. Yeah, Dr. John says not to exercise after a jab. Well, I did ask them yesterday, and actually I think that advice is for the Moderna, and they're being the Pfizer, and they're being very, very, very cautious with it. And I think it's very extreme, like aerobic exercise. He told me yesterday you can do any exercise you want. Yeah. So, oh, what's that? Duke of Cambridge. Ah, is that? Oh, sorry, something just came up. All hair salons are now required to patch test all clients after they reopened in April, regardless of how many times you've been before. Oh, I wonder if that's to do with the vaccine. How interesting. Oh, God, my arm's definitely hurting a bit more now. Does it look like? No, you can't see anything. It's because I'm talking about it. I made myself go. Okay, so before we go, I want to talk about... So this popped up. You might have seen it on my Instagram. And I wanted to show you this. Hang on 1 second. Oh, got my caps on. Hang on. This picture of the stunning supermodel. I don't know how to say her name. Hang on 1 second. Bear with me. Did anybody see it? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? This is... where is she? Honest to God, this supermodel, she's had her baby 3 months ago. Here it is. And don't get me wrong, I am not in any way saying that this woman shouldn't show off her body if that's what makes her happy. She's a supermodel, it's her business. She's absolutely stunning. But there's these photos out today. Right, look at this. Can you see it? That baby's 3 months old. Right, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Oh my God, I really want you to see. Look at her nun. I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I felt like it was hanging around my knees. I mean, no, but look, let me just show you. Let me just show you. Hang on. I've got to go up close because I don't think you saw it well enough. Hang on. Look, can you see it? I mean, good for her and lucky her and all of that. But I just wanted to just give you my... No, it hasn't been photoshopped. She's like that. She's a supermodel. She's gorgeous. I mean, she's beyond gorgeous. It might have been a bit photoshopped, but the body is there. But this is all I wanted to say. She looks amazing. And my God, revel in it. If you can look like that, fantastic. But what I wanted to say is... don't take it to heart. The thing is, I've said this before on my body confidence chats that I do on a Wednesday with my friend Dr. Tits Off. These girls are supermodels for a reason. They don't get out of bed for less than hundreds of thousands of pounds for a reason. And that reason is, as, oh God, what's the name? What's that fashion designer called? What's the fashion designer that I love? Somebody's going to know. The one that does all the nip-tin. Vivienne Westwood said, these girls are freaks of nature because they're so rare. They're so unusual that's why they're stars, right? They're orchids that are kept in, in glass jars. This is how you have to think of them. They're kept in glass jars. They have to have the purest of water. They have to have the cleanest of diets. They have to be looked at. They work out. These people work out. They might say they don't, but they do. I did a film years ago with Halle Berry, and she was in that gym every single day, up before anybody else. Good. She's committed. These people are athletes. This is how they make their living. Do you know what I mean? So It's beautiful, and I love them, and I love beautiful women, and I love looking at beautiful women, but we must never set ourselves up beside them and go, because we're daffodils. And daffodils pop up everywhere, and they're lovely and they're joyful, as are orchids. Orchids are rare, beautiful things that we love to look at sometimes, but they're not everywhere, are they, orchids? For a reason, because they're rare and beautiful. But daffodils are just lovely, and they're everywhere, and we're daffodils. Sam JP, I feel more like a dandelion. I love dandelions. Look, when you suddenly see a thing of dandelions, they're just beautiful. I love forget-me-nots. Apparently they're weeds. I love them. So we are not orchids. We are daffodils. And we bring joy everywhere because we're just everywhere. And anybody can have them. We can just pick them up. We can make armfuls of them. And we can just give joy. Or we could be buttercups or dandelions. We're just not orchids. And think about orchids. They have to be treated very carefully. I love forget-me-nots too, Sarah Elliott. I love them. So that's all I wanted to say, really. She's an orchid, and we're daffodils, or forget-me-nots, or dandelions. Julie Frank says she's a tulip. Sarah's a daisy. I love daisies. Every single one of these flowers that are just everywhere are beautiful and give us joy, don't they? Foxglove, droopy. Sweet peas. I had them in my wedding bouquet. I love sweet peas. Snapdragon. I'm probably more of a conifer. Who's that? Who's that saying they're a conifer? Oh, I lost you. That made me laugh, though. Bluebells. Loved bluebells. Laura D. Bays is a baked potato. Now, that's not a flower, is it? You've got to come up with a flower. You're not allowed to call yourself a baked potato, though I love baked potatoes, especially if they're crispy on the outside. Okay? Okay. And it takes a bit longer for a daffodil to snap back. Like, never. A stinging nettle. Stop it, Ali Watts. Now stop it. You've got to say something nice. Thistles. Thistles are beautiful. No, you're not a longweed, Zoe. You are not a longweed. You're a forget-me-not. I would be a rose, says Christine Beck. There you go. Just be a different flower. Whenever you see these impossible beauties that we love to look at, I revel in her beauty. I was like, oh, you know, but that's it. Like a beautiful orchid. I'm not going to buy orchids every day. I'm a dahlia. Thank you, Acantha Rain, Oak Moon. There we go. That's it. Love you all very much. A sunflower that loves chocolate, says Caitlin. Please hit the subscribe button. If you've enjoyed spending this last half an hour or so with me, hit the thumbs up icon just under where I'm sitting. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I hope you enjoyed the Sunday show yesterday. And I hope you liked seeing Teddy again. Did you enjoy Teddy's story about his stroke? We're definitely going to have a group hug at the end of this. Did you see his story? It was so funny. Only my dad would make having a stroke funny. I'll be a sunflower, very seasonal. Yes, IS. Yeah, Teddy's Teddy talk was amazing, wasn't it? It was just so lovely. Okay, my darlings. Big, big hugs, group hug. We're always going to end every live with a group hug. Lots of love. Sorry the meals in minutes didn't go up yesterday. It's going up today. Love you lots like jelly tots. I'm a daffodil. Bye.